Hi everyone, Mike here. Hope you're all having a great night. I want to bring in our own Alicia Hercules. Alicia, how are you doing out there? Because we have the heavy rain, we have the wind coming through, and in some cases we lost power. In fact, you said you lost power where you were not too long ago.
Yes, hi Mike. I hope everyone's staying safe out there. So as I was driving through Wilkes-Barre to take just a look to see how everything's been looking, I came across this apartment complex here that actually completely lost power. Just completely lost power. I want to say maybe 10 minutes ago, and it hasn't come back on yet. Actually, this side of the street, I'm on Washington Street right now. This side of the street still has all their power, all their lights on are still on here, but over here just complete darkness. Um, pretty much one of the biggest reasons why power outages happen is because of wind, super high wind. So we'll be talking about that a little bit more tonight at 10, but definitely just really high winds cause that. And just something for people to remember. Mike, I don't know if you have any breathing issues. Do you have asthma by any chance?
No, I do not have asthma, thank you. Luckily for myself, but I do know people who do.
Yep, and I am one of them. So I do actually have asthma. So something to be very aware of is that when it's very high winds, it makes it a lot harder to breathe. So if you, I mean, you shouldn't be outside in general, but if you are outside, please just be aware of that. If you do have breathing problems or someone you know has breathing problems, just try to stay outside and stay inside, sorry, and keep your breath as steady as possible. I learned that years ago, but so I can do this, but it's not an easy thing. So just if you do have any kind of breathing problems at all, just definitely stay inside.
Yeah, good things to keep in mind here if you do have those kind of issues here. Alicia, I'm going to bring up the graphics here a little bit too so we can see what's going on. So right now we got the graphics, we got that rain that's coming through. Are you experiencing that heavy rain right now?
Oh yeah, definitely super heavy rain at first. I want to say when I first drove down this street, it was absolutely pouring. It was actually kind of hard to even see at all. But now I'm just it's a lot more wind than anything, which means that we're probably going to be seeing a lot more power outages, unfortunately.
Yeah, we are seeing those scattered power outages across the area. Now, I will say this quickly for those of you looking at the radar. At the end of this loop, I'll stop it here, where you can see the heavy rain, at least the widespread rain, is starting to move out of central Pennsylvania. So Clinton County and Lycoming County is going to start seeing things lighten up a little bit. But we are also looking at a lot of that yellow and also even some oranges here as we go through this area. And even when we look down to the south, in southeastern Pennsylvania, still seeing some of that moderate to heavy rain across the area too. Mark is saying that they had power outages as well where he is there too. So we're seeing those scattered power outages across northeast and central Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, in some cases, last I saw, we had over 2,500 in Luzerne County here. So I'm going to bring us in another friend of ours here. We have Mr. Jake Sarwar. Jake, how are you doing? Looks like you're outside, just outside the studio.
Yeah, hi Mike. Sorry, the trucks are jake braking right now. We're right by Route 81, but I did want to come out here to get a little wet to show you guys again kind of what's going on outside of our studio here. We do have heavy rainfall coming down. The wind is the one thing, though, that has been picking up. Let me see if I could switch my camera quick. Either way. So I'll show you this way. So coming down here, I mean, when I came out, I was able to see the wind fully blow all the water right towards me. You could definitely feel over the last few hours. I probably went out to start filming today around maybe like 3:30, 4 o'clock. It wasn't as bad, but as time has continued, it really, I got to be honest, it really has picked up. It's felt a little bit chillier when it's coming down as well too. And again, if you don't have to be out in something like this, stay home. Don't really go out in it. But truthfully, you know, it definitely is getting stronger as the hours go on here.
Yeah. And here's the other thing too, Jake, that we are seeing too is that, like you said, those power outages as well because of the strong winds. So it looks like the power outages right now are the big concern or the biggest issue for the area. The flooding, thankfully, has not materialized yet. I haven't seen any flood warnings issued for the area, but it's definitely heavy rain. You were driving around for a little bit, and you said that the rain was coming down heavy for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. just like you're saying, Mike, the power outages seem to be the bigger issue. I was getting on to the Cross Valley earlier today, and when I was getting on there, you could actually see some of the businesses and the stores, kind of their lights flicker. So it's kind of crazy to kind of see that in real time. But yeah, it seems like that's the bigger issue right now. Now, depending on, again, where you are, there's, different circumstances there. Same thing like you're saying with that flooding. Now, we are continuing to track flooding as well, too. We'll be live later on tonight out in the field to make sure that we bring you the latest on, again, those road conditions and kind of what's going on out in the field here.
Yeah, and Jake, I have the map up. I don't know if you can see it, and Alicia, I'm not sure if I'll bring her back in too. I'm not sure if you guys can see the map, but
Yeah.
right now, I bring it up here, 3,100 in Luzerne County, and Sullivan County has 1,000 outages, customers without power, 4,000 in Columbia right now, so 4,100 in Columbia County, and 1,400 or close to 1,500 there in Northumberland. Lycoming counties are almost 2,000. So we are seeing those. We are seeing the power outages across the area, unfortunately. So those are definitely some concerns that we're watching here the next couple of hours, because this wind is not only going to last into tonight, but also as we go through tomorrow here. Mark is saying that Luzerne County, lots of transformers were popping where he is too.
Mark, I completely agree with you. I feel like that's also what I may have seen earlier when I was going out. And our photojournalist, Bill Lewis, just ran out a few minutes ago to check on something I heard on a scanner. And he said on Route 309 towards the Cross Valley, in between basically the Cross Valley and where the VA Medical Center is, there's actually some down power lines there where emergency services have shut down the road there for the time being. So even that too, be aware. I've seen a lot of ambulances, fire trucks, police officers. There have been a few accidents here or there too. I know sometimes it's hard to see the lanes, or the wind gets so powerful it's kind of pushing the car back and forth. But what I will say is there are emergency crews out and about today. So even if you are trying to go home now, you're out at the store, you're at work, you may have to take an alternate route, again, depending on if power lines are down or if there is an accident anywhere.
Yeah, and I know Alicia also was dealing with some of that issue there too with it. Oh, Jake, I think I might have muted your mic there. I'm not quite sure by accident. But you were saying how there's the power outages around and everything. And Alicia, we bring her back in here. Alicia, you were saying how there was power outages where you were. You were down in Wilkes-Barre, correct? Downtown Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, downtown Wilkes-Barre, South Washington Street. It seems like it's just this one side of actual Washington Street, funny enough. The other side, you can still see other lights like super, super bright. So these are still perfectly fine. These lights here behind me. But on this side, just complete darkness. I mean, you can't even see anything here, really. You can barely tell this is even a building. So it's complete darkness on this side right now. It's been like this now for about 15 minutes. So,
yeah, and Sean is saying that the power is out there in Nanticoke right now as well, where they also saw that they had, I'm guessing that's supposed to be miles per hour, but the winds in Nanticoke were howling there as well. So we're definitely seeing those strong winds coming through the area here as we continue to watch this system. I do want to show this real quick. Jake, you made a good comment about the power lines here, so I want to just bring this up real quick. It is power line safety for everyone. Just a reminder with this, with the power lines, to just let them go here. So you got the power lines that are coming through here. Obviously, if they're down, you want to stay away from them, about at least 30 feet away from the power lines. And just don't touch them. You never want to touch a down power line. You never know if it is live or not. So make sure you stay away from them. Don't attempt to move them or anything near them. Let the crews handle this here, because it can be a very dangerous situation, and you don't know, guys. You don't know if that is actually. I was going to say, it looks like we lost Alicia. You don't know if that thing's live. You don't want to touch it, and then you realize it was live, and now we have bad things happening.
Yeah, Mike, you bring up a good point there, especially, even if you see one of those down in your property, in your neighborhood, or around your house, call the proper authorities. 911, the power companies, call them, because, again, let them be the ones to assess, like Mike is saying, if it is a live wire or what it really is. So make sure again that you are doing your due diligence to again report those as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to bring this up here. I think I can do this with you guys, with both of you. Yeah, I can. Cool. So once it loads, it's the radar. So I think you both should be able to see this as it comes on through once it loads up. So this is what we've been looking at right now. We had that transition to rain earlier today after we saw quite a few inches up in the mountains. Of one report of over 3 inches there. So we did see some accumulation, but now it's all rain, and we got that heavy rain now. Parts of what looks like parts of Wayne County and also Pike County here right now. That's where the heavy rain is coming through the most in that area, in the Honesdale area. We also have some moderate to heavy rain in Lackawanna County near Scranton, and then also down into the Poconos where we're seeing this right now. Sean, you're asking about rotation with this system. I have not. Let's take a look at this. There shouldn't be any rotation, but you know, anything can happen. So we'll take a look at that as well, just really quick here. I'll throw up Nanny Coke, so that would be this one. And no, there's no rotation. So if we saw any rotation, you would see some of this blue is green color, and then you would see some of the red is brown colored next to each other. So there is no rotation, but there are very strong winds with it that are coming through. That is what you're probably hearing. So there is no tornado, so to speak, with this system. But guys, it might produce a tornado-like damage because of those strong winds that are coming down through the area.
Mike, I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Thinking about the type of winds that are hitting us right now, I mean, is this something normal for our area? I believe, is it coming from the southeast? Is that like normal for us to see, or?
The winds are coming from the southeast, yes, and that's because of the counterclockwise rotation of the storm. So let me actually pull it up here on the graphic.
By the way, my phone stand is blowing away as we're standing here, so
yeah, Jake,
trying my best to hold it up.
I don't know if you can see it, but the wind is coming out of the southeast here. It's coming from the ocean all the way up into our area. So that is why you're getting that southeasterly wind here. It's because of the counterclockwise rotation of the low. So if we were on the other side of the low, then the winds would be out of the northwest. So you can see how the low here is the cold side, the winds are out of the northwest. So that has to do with the positioning of the low. Once we end up seeing the low move off to the east more and we get behind it, then we will see that switch over to more westerly flow, which is what we're going to have tomorrow.
Now, Mike, I have a quick damper on the party for a second, aside from the rain. So my phone is actually on 3% as well. So I am going to lose you guys soon. So I'm going to sign off here, and I will definitely pick back up when I get back to the station and I have a charged phone. So stay safe out there and do not be on the roads if you do not have to. And I will see you, Jake and Mike, later.
All right. Stay safe, Alicia. Bye.
Bye.
All right. And now there were two here that are left. So Alicia will be charging her phone up. And Jake, you said your phone was getting low as well.
Yeah, a little bit here. My phone stand's knocking over. It's kind of the luck of the trade being outside, right? But I mean, we love doing this, though. We love being out there and being able to show you kind of in your backyard kind of what to expect.
Well, I mean, no wonder why your phone stand's blowing around here. I mean, here's a look at the current wind speeds or wind gusts. I don't know if you can see it, but it's 50 miles per hour at the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Airport.
I could see it and I could feel it. I could tell you that. My foot is resting upon it right now. I'm awkwardly lunging to make sure it's staying still. But it feels like that. I know you and I were talking earlier too, Mike. I was driving and I almost stopped my car essentially kind of in the middle of River Street in Wilkes-Barre because a huge gust came through and it took everything. Debris, it was taking trash, everything you could think of flying around. And then I was in the Kingston area, and there were people who were stopping me in the middle of the road because their trash cans that are out for pickup for tomorrow were flying all over the place in the middle of the street, too. So that's another thing as well. Make sure if you have anything out like that or anything that's unsecured, make sure you try to secure it tonight. Yeah,
exactly. You want to make sure that you're doing that here as well. Make sure all those objects, like you said, are secured, because otherwise you're going to be chasing them down the street. So that goes for, any decoration that you may have, trash cans, lawn chairs, if you have any of those out. Otherwise, you might not be finding them where they should be tomorrow. So you definitely want to make sure they're locked down tight here tonight. So, but I can hear the wind in your microphone. It is definitely coming on strong, like I said. And we do have those wind advisories in effect here for the rest of the night tonight, and also into tomorrow for the wind gusts of 50, 55 plus, which is verifying at the sensors. So we are seeing those gusts in the area tonight. And the good news is that once the heavy rain moves out, the wind will die down a little bit, Jake. So we will see that wind die down a little bit, but it's going to take a while to be completely gone. It's not going to be gone until really completely until Thursday. So,
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it'll be a breezy day. It'll be a breezy day tomorrow. Gusts will be anywhere from around 30 to 35 miles per hour, and then tomorrow night, even we're going to still see some winds around 20 to 25 miles per hour at times. So Thursday is really the day we get rid of the wind completely.
Wow.
So, and Sean is talking about tomorrow as well. He's saying he sees snow on the back end of this, which is true, because temperatures are going to go down, and we're also going to get winds out west. So we're going to end up seeing that back end snow shower activity a little bit here, and then also a little bit of mixing depending on exactly where you are tomorrow. But we'll be watching that as well.
Getting closer to a wall.
Well, everyone definitely get rid of the wind.
It's been a little breezy out there. I'm trying to make sure. All right, that's a little bit better. Okay. We're excited, though. We're going to be out. Alicia and I are going to be out live tonight in the field. Of course, Mike will be in the studio, so we have some great stories coming up later on tonight about this storm system. And then if we're seeing anything, more power outages, any flooding anywhere, you can bet during the 10 o'clock news, you will see it right here on Fox 56.
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to bring up this graphic here, Jake. It's once it loads, it's going to be the forecast model with the rain. So take a second, but there we go. All right, just switch it back. There we go. So here's the radar right now, or what the model thinks is happening right now is that heavy rain, as we expect to happen. Here's now 9 o'clock. Notice how it's clearing out of the Clinton and Lycoming County, even Snyder and Union County with that widespread rain. And then as we headed through the night till about midnight, this is where that heavy rain is going to be around here as well. Now, we do have some back-end snow showers coming in tomorrow, but we'll also see some rain showers tonight. All right, now we switch the winds to the west, and it's going to be colder. So here's tomorrow morning. It's quiet, but notice tomorrow afternoon, a few more snow showers moving in. I do expect it to be light, so it won't be crazy. It won't be like we had today, but it will be light. Snow shower activity tomorrow into the afternoon, and then we get a break on Wednesday. And this is interesting. As we head into Thursday, models showing another weak system coming through and bringing us a little bit of snow shower activity as well as we go into Thursday. So we'll have a little bit of a weak system coming through on Thursday that will bring us some snow showers to the area. Those should be light as well here. So very active pattern that's going to continue moving through. Sean, I know what you're talking about with next week here. I have my doubts about that storm system here because it's been changing. Yesterday, he's talking about a storm system that was coming in next week. One model yesterday showed we're going to get a lot of ice. Today it's showing snow. So we're still in that transition period where things are going to go all over the place, pretty much every model run. We'll deal with that one once we get closer, but it does look like we have a couple more systems to contend with, Jake, after this one. So this active pattern is continuing.
Hey, we're ready for it. And honestly, it's not the popular opinion, but Mike, I love me some snow. So anything I can get, if it's a couple inches, maybe a foot, whatever you want to say, I'll take it. But I'll definitely make sure I check with you and tune into our forecast to make sure that I know exactly when stuff is coming and, of course, how accurate it'll be.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what ends up happening with these systems as they come on through here. But we also, are obviously going with the one right now, and that is why we got that flood watch in effect for the entire area. So we're still looking at that heavy rain. So that flood watch remains in effect across the area here. I do want to take a closer look here, Jake. Excuse me. at some of the storm reports. I don't know if you can see them on your screen here, but we are starting to see some wind damage reports popping up here. In Susquehanna, Wayne County, there's also one here, looks like by the airport. So blown transformer in Lackawanna County near Old Forge. That was reported at 7:20, it looks like. Oop, there we go. And then as we go up into Wayne County here, trees down on Crosstown Highway near Lake Lorraine Golf Course. I think I said that right. Lorraine. And then there's a few more in Susquehanna County. So we are starting to see some of those, excuse me. We are starting to see those wind damage reports of wires down, trees down in the area. And it's important to remember, you know, this is not a severe thunderstorm. This is not a tropical storm. This is just a system coming through and with a lot of wind. So you don't need severe thunderstorms or a hurricane to be getting those wind damage scenarios here. And I think that can tend to catch people off guard sometimes.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Mike, my question to you is, I mean, right now, temperatures are up a little bit right now, at least more seasonable, or excuse me, more than seasonably normal. But if they are in like the mid 40s or so here, let's, you know, play devil's advocate here and say this was, you know, 25 degrees. Would this be considered a blizzard, or depending on the wind speed, what would you say?
If it was snow, yes. And the reason why is for a blizzard, you need a couple things. One, you need blowing snow or snow falling. You don't need snow to fall to get a blizzard. You can have a ground blizzard. So there's that. The big thing is you need visibility to be a quarter of a mile or less, and you need it for 3 consecutive hours. That's usually what stops it from happening, is the timing. It needs to be for 3 hours or longer. You also need winds to be 35 miles per hour or greater. So there is specific criteria for a blizzard, but we're well over 35 mile per hour winds here for a couple of hours. So I believe that time duration would not be an issue. It'd be a question on the visibility. Would the visibility be low enough? And would we see a dip in the wind at any point that gets under that 35 mile per hour range? So, but yeah, if this was snow, to answer your question, Jake, yes, we would have whiteout conditions, more than likely.
Wow. Mike, you learn something new every day here. I mean, really, I've always known about blizzards. You and I have talked about this before too, but I never realized, or maybe I wasn't paying attention, but about the ground blizzard. I think that's pretty neat with, like, you're saying snowdrift, essentially.
Yeah, I think I have a graphic, maybe not. Well, something I need to make
Cool.
So you helped me find something I need to make, Jake.
Look at that.
But yeah, there is specific criteria that you need for a blizzard to be verified, which is why they're so rare.
Yeah.
You can have blizzard-like conditions. You'll hear us say that a lot. I might say something like blizzard-like conditions, meaning visibility is low and strong winds, but it's not technically a blizzard unless you hit all that criteria.
Good
here.
To know. Definitely.
Yeah, but to be clear with everyone, we are not dealing with a blizzard, and I don't think we're dealing with a blizzard anytime soon. Okay, no, I know, Sean, you're asking about a blizzard. That's another part of the country. That's not us. Here, we're not going to be dealing with a blizzard here at all. Just to be clear on that. This is all rain here and wind. But the good news is that, like I said, right now, at least it looks like the flooding is staying at bay. And we'll take a look here at the power outages one more time for folks across the area. So you can see, let me make sure this is refreshed. So we got the latest. Luzerne County's at 6,000 right now. 6,100 is the actual number. Around 1,400 in Susquehanna County, Sullivan County, 1,000 or so. Columbia County is close to 3,900 almost there. As we go into Wyoming, 102 there, and around 1,164 in Lackawanna County. And keep in mind, that's customers. That's not people. So we'll be watching that carefully here to see if these numbers continue to go up. 1,700 in Northumberland. Union County is around 400. And then Lycoming County, 1,300 as well. Clinton County is around 294. So, but you can also see how Bedford County has a lot of power outages down to the southwest, about 1459 there. Erie has over 19,000 up in by Erie, Lake Erie. And then down in Chester County and by Philadelphia, over 29,000, almost approaching 30,000 there, Jake, of power outages. So we're seeing it statewide. But for us, Luzerne County, Columbia County, Sullivan County, and Susquehanna County seem to be the hardest hit with the power outages at the moment here. And just keep in mind, they're trying to restore this as fast as possible for all of you. But it's going to take some time, right? They have to make sure that they're safe, that they're not going to be in harm's way. And also, as more things happen, as the trees continue to come down and maybe some branches come down, there could be more power outages. They got to make sure that, nothing urgent is about to happen. And, take care of things that maybe need to be taken care of first. So just be patient. They will get the power back on very soon. I'm sure of that here. They're very good at what they do. So Donald said that, noting that one of the other affiliates noted a 53 mile per hour wind gust in Scranton. And yeah, I mean, when we look at the current wind gusts across the area here, let's see if I can pull this up. It did have it around, it was what, 53 or 54, I think, earlier?
Yeah.
I say, you remember the number? I don't. It was up there. I know that. At that point, you're splitting hairs. But the airport did report a gust up there on the graphic. And did it freeze? I think I broke it. Jake will tell you I break a lot of things. There we go. There's the win. So
okay, so it went down a little, but like you're saying, hairs.
Yeah, I mean, just to make put in perspective, tropical storm force, for those of you who like to follow that, tropical storms and hurricanes, tropical storm force is 39. So we are seeing tropical storm force gusts in New Milford, Honesdale, Tunkhannock, Bloomsburg, and Wilkes-Barre and Scranton right now. That will continue for a little bit more, and then it will eventually die down. As even starting tonight, it will start to calm down. So we'll be watching that carefully here. But the rain, the heavy rain aspect, is going to start winding down here pretty quickly. In fact, it's been a while since we looked at the radar, huh? So let's take a look at what the radar has here. So everyone gets to see our little sales pit in your background there, Jake.
Yeah. As Mike's getting this loaded too, don't forget, always send us your photos, videos, anything like that you have. It could be, storm damage. It could just be anything around the corner from you. If you're at work, you see something. Or again, it doesn't even have to be on a day like today. It could even just be a nice day, get a nice sunset. Send it on over to us. We have our chime in on our website. Or if you find any of us on social media, you could always just DM any one of us and let us know what your name is and where you're sending it in from, and we'll try to get it into the show for that night as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point there, Jake. And I'm trying to resize this real quick, so that way it's you actually can see the whole graphic. Because I guess when I did something I shouldn't have.
Yeah, again, like I was saying, it doesn't just have to be during bad weather, although we do appreciate some bad weather ones like that too, because we do have a big coverage area, and to know different stories we want to cover or to see different parts of it, it is always best when we get some reports and or photos or videos from you, the viewers at home. I've even sent in my own photos before. I've done sunset photos, things like that to Mike before as well. So, it could be anything like that, or during any type of storm as well. Again, make sure any one of us, any of the reporters, our emails are found on our website. Just like I said, that chime in is also found there too. But if you're on social media, you're on Facebook, Instagram, X, even TikTok. Most of us have TikTok accounts. You could always DM us and just let us know, again, your name, where you're sending it in from, and kind of just when it was from. So we'd be glad to, put it up on our website, try to get them into maybe some of our stories or even on the broadcast.
Exactly. Always appreciate any reports folks will send in for us here. I do want to quickly show this, Jake. A new report did come in, some wind damage in Lackawanna County. There, tree down on the road near the intersection of Aberdeen Road and the Reservoir Road there up in Lackawanna County. That's near Quicktown. So that was reported at 8 o'clock here.
Can you look over by like Mount Pocono, Mike? Let's look at the Poconos quick too. Just want to see
Yeah.
a little. Seems like there's a few congregated in one central area.
Those are snow reports from today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where we did see some accumulating snow in that area in 2.8 inches as at 3 o'clock at Mount Pocono.
Wow.
Here, and then the same thing basically. Blakesley got about close to 1.5. Let's see what Milford got, 1.4 inches, so same thing. And Twin Lakes got just over 2.5 inches there at an elevation of 1,270 feet, so 1,270 feet there, mixing with the sleet.
It's crazy to think it looked like Blakesley, you were saying, was about 1.5, and then Pocono, Mount Pocono is about almost 3 inches or so. It's crazy because just like when we've been out, I mean, it's right down 940. They basically split the two together. So even just that elevation change right there alone is crazy enough to, no.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know if you could hear that in the background. Right now, but let me see if I can bring up the radar here for everyone real quick.
As you can see, I did make it back inside just because it was a little cold out there. Standing in here, though, Mike was right. This is our sales pit where our sales team works every day. And even standing in here, I can hear the wind hitting the building. I mean, I'm near some glass windows, but really you could hear the wind hitting the building. And then my favorite thing, whenever it's snowing or raining, I always like to find the lights in our parking lot and look to see if it's either falling straight down or if there is wind. And you definitely see the wind. It is really showering across kind of really, you could tell where the wind is really taking part in the rainfall coming down now too.
Yeah, we can even take a look at the live stream, which would basically be what you're seeing outside here in a little bit. But this is a look at the radar for those of you who maybe hopped on a little bit ago and like, okay, can you guys show us the radar? Here's what it is right now. We are seeing some clearing in the Renovo area. So Renovo is basically done with the widespread precipitation. We still have that moderate to heavy rain, though, going over the Poconos and Mount Pocono and the Milford, Honesdale's area there, Jake, in the higher elevations. It looks like here. So we're still dealing with that across the region. As we take a look down by Lewisburg and Sealands Grove, as well as Bloomsburg area, you can still see that moderate to heavy rain. Cole, same thing, dealing with some of that moderate to heavy rain at the moment. Schuylkill County, same deal here, just dealing with that rain. It will continue here for another couple of hours. Here's a look at where we're seeing the heaviest of the rain. It's in the Blooming Grove, between Blooming Grove and Mount Pocono. Zoom in and see if we can get a few places to pop up here near Springbrook and Sterling. You can see a little bit of a bullseye there in the far north part of Monroe County as this system continues to move on through. Lackawanna there getting a little bit of that heavier rain, and same thing in Dingman, Honesdale, Susquehanna County dealing with some of that moderate rain at the moment. And also, as we take a look at Bradford County, you can see that rain is starting to lighten up on your western edge. So Wells and Troy, we're going to start seeing things calm down for you in terms of the rainfall. You'll start getting very light rain here probably within the next half hour or so as the system begins its trek away from us and starts pulling away here, Jake.
Yeah, it's definitely, I know you're pointing out in the Poconos and stuff too. I was seeing the 380 and 80 split there. It looks like that area right there is like State Route 115 that goes all the way down into Effort, and then of course comes all the way up here into Wilkes-Barre as well too. So it seems like they are getting a little bit more, like you're saying, that heavier rain now. But just like you were saying before too, Mike, it seems like as fast as it's coming in, it's going to be moving out pretty quick too.
Yeah, and but here's the look outside our station. So this is what you would see if you look to your left.
That flagpole, if you can't tell, is actually moving. Like the flag is moving, but the physical pole that is cemented into the ground, I'm watching it right now, is moving. Some of our signage in our parking lot, a stop sign or so, you could tell they're moving around a little bit too. And again, these are things that are, put right into the ground specifically. So it's kind of crazy to watch them keep on moving.
If you look right here, you can see that wind with the rain.
Yeah.
And not quite sideways, but you could definitely tell it's windy out there with this rain, and that is going to lower the visibility as well. Another thing that's also going to lower visibility in this situation, Jake, is the fact that it had snow with it. So the snow is going to, once it's trying to melt, you're going to get a little bit of fog here with it as it's melting. So that's also going to lower your visibility there too.
This might be a dumb question, but does that have anything to do with it evaporating the snow?
You mean sublimating?
Sure.
Yeah. Basically, it's similar. Yeah. So you have the rain hitting the snow, and then it has heat.
Yeah.
Water is warmer than the snow, so you get that kind of fog-like appearance there because the snow is colder. Yeah, and it's trying to it sublimates is what it's doing here. So you get that kind of little bit of a foggy look to it here, and you actually saw it today. Earlier this afternoon, if you looked outside, visibility was very low on the horizon, and that's what was happening. Is the snow was melting. So that happens quite often after a big snowfall, or a widespread snowfall, I should say, and you add the rain onto it. A lot of times you get that lower visibility with it, and then you add in the fact that you got blowing rain on top of it. So that's why visibility tonight probably not the best out there with your driving.
And do you think that would increase basically in those mountainous areas like the Poconos or even up in Pike County and such because they were to get that heavier snow in the morning or more snow?
Probably would it increase it? That not in terms of how widespread it would be, but it would increase the duration of it because you have more snow to melt. So it would last. It could last longer in those areas because you have a thicker snowpack to melt.
Gotcha. I will say you were showing the whatever you want to call it, the camera outside of our studio here.
Yeah.
But I will say on 315 here, there have been cars, since I've started this with you a little while ago, Mike, and then also coming back and forth from filming stuff today, there have been cars out and about. I do notice a lot of people are taking it slow. Because again, like we were saying, visibility can be a little tricky, but especially too when it's raining and, trying to see the white lines. Everybody's got a different style of headlight on their car too. So it's a little bit tricky at times. So I definitely notice people slowing down, but still quite a few cars are on the roads here.
Yeah. Sorry, as you were saying that, Jay, I was also looking at some of the comments here. And apparently a Lake Lehman grad was on the Buffalo Bills. I know you're a Buffalo's Bill fan.
Really? No way.
Connor McGovern?
Oh, Connor McGovern. Oh my gosh. Yeah, wait, I'm sorry. He played for Dallas and everything. Yes, of course. Broadway Tavern. Totally understand. Yes. Sorry. It took me a second to realize what we were talking about. I'm a huge Buffalo Bills fan. We're going to beat the Steelers this weekend. We may be going to the Super Bowl more than the Eagles. That's all I'll tell you. You can walk through. You're good.
Well. Oh, I thought you were saying it to me. Sorry.
No. You're good. You're good. Yeah, no, but seriously though, like the Buffalo Bills, this is our year. People were counting us out 6-6. They're like, they're not going anywhere. No, we don't give up. We believe. Get it? We do not give up. We are 11-6. We are the number 2 seed, and we got the home field advantage this weekend. And with that weather you're talking about, I know Buffalo's supposed to get some snow as well too. So, I mean, I know Pittsburgh, they do play in an open stadium, but they better get ready because we're coming. And again, I do appreciate the fact that Connor McGovern is from this area too.
Sean said he's a big Miami fan.
Oh, sorry, Sean. I'm so sorry. My sister's fiance is a big Miami fan too. He was using a lot of tissues this weekend.
And I said, why do I feel like you were helping him with the tissues too?
Exactly. I mean, I will say though, it was a great game though. That one definitely was a good game. Good final Sunday night football game to end out the regular season.
Yeah, it was a good game to watch there. And I'm trying to bring up what I'm trying to do here, Jake, is I'm trying to bring up the river levels here. Okay. And unfortunately, it looks like for some reason this does not want to cooperate with me.
Are you able to even just read them off?
I can't even get them to pop up. That's the issue.
I got you here.
Let me try. It might be because I'm trying to do this remotely, access it. So let me see if maybe not doing that helps. But yeah, it was a good weekend with that. That's for sure. Yeah. I know, obviously people who won were happy. So
heck yeah, we were happy.
Let's see. It's not loading, but I can tell you guys this: the river levels right now, yes, they're going to rise, but they're going to stay in the banks.
I'm just looking at the website, Mike. I was able to pull it up.
Oh, it worked on your phone? Okay.
Yeah, I have it up on my phone right now. I don't know if it's yeah, you kind of can't really tell. But it says it was last observed at 4.77 feet. That was at 6:45 p.m. So it was the last time that they actually tested it. And of course, the flood stage is at 22 feet. So.
And that's the Susquehanna River, right? In Wilkes-Barre.
This is the Susquehanna River, and this is in the Wilkes-Barre section.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna rise. It's gonna take a little bit for it to rise because the rain's falling now, so eventually it will fill up, and it'll fill up overnight tonight. There we go. Finally. So I'll bring this up here. So this is the river levels right now. And you can see that the Susquehanna River there, Jake, let me see if I can make this bigger for you. It's doing all kind of weird things. There we go. Yeah, right now 4.77 feet at 6:45. But notice this purplish color.
Yeah.
It is going to rise. It does look like it reaches a peak on Thursday morning just around 20 feet. Now, minor flood stage or flood stage itself is 22. So we're going to be about 2 feet under right now, according to the river forecast. So you can see it gets high, but it does not overflow the banks. So the river will get high as we go through tomorrow and Thursday and peak Thursday morning, but it will not go over the banks, which is good news. In fact, let's pull this forward. We'll let this update the colors.
And speaking of that quickly, just for what you'll hear later on tonight in my story too, South River Street in Wilkes-Barre, and then also the Solomon Creek floodgates. Both of those were closed by Mayor Brown of Wilkes-Barre earlier today, just as a precautionary measure, just to make sure in case anything were to happen, they are prepared. But at least those two floodgates as of now have been closed. And again, they say that they might be able to update that at some point.
All right, good. Here's a look at Towanda Creek up there in Bradford County. Oops, sorry about that. Same thing. You can see the flood stage is around 15.5 feet. It's expected to crest tomorrow morning at 13.6. So it gets high, but we don't see anything overflowing. In Williamsport, near Muncie, again, we're about 2 feet under what flood stage is. So we're not seeing any of the rivers here, at least in our area, get past that near flood stage, which is good news. Bloomsburg, same thing. You're about 2.5 feet under your flood stage. Allenwood, the Susquehanna River in Allenwood, you're almost 4 feet under flood stage at the forecasted peak. Williamsport is way under. I mean, you're about 6 feet under.
Wow.
Literally 6 feet under.
Yeah.
There. And then look at Loyal Saukville Road, Loyal Saukville there. It looks like the same thing. Oop, I keep hitting the wrong thing. So the good news is there, Jake, is that flooding, at least river flooding, is not going to be an issue even with this rain. So that is good news.
Good to hear.
So, folks, I think that's about it. Unless, Jake, there's anything that I missed that you can think of here.
No, Mike, I think you got this down to a science, literally. Again, just like we've been saying before, things are changing as we continue to go hour by hour. So make sure if we do more Facebook Lives throughout the night, or especially our 10 p.m. broadcast, that's where Mike will have, of course, the absolute up-to-date latest information. And again, send us those photos, those videos. Even after we end this live stream here, feel free to still put stuff in the comments and let us know. We still check that and everything too. Just so, again, in case your area is being hit a little bit more than other areas are, maybe tomorrow we could run out there and do some stories as well.
Yeah, and guys, just because we're going to be seeing at those gauges it not reaching flood stage doesn't mean that there couldn't be some minor, like it gets to the very top there, because I know Sean is saying the Susquehanna River in areas where there's no levee could still potentially get close to overfilling its banks. That is true, but it does look like, if anything, it's minor. We're not expecting any major issues. Nothing like I believe it was, correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, 2019?
2011.
2011.
There may have been other ones too. I know one of the, since 1972, then the next bigger, or at least biggest one in the valley was 2011 as well.
Yeah, nothing like that with this.
Yeah.
So, but we are still watching that heavy rain coming through. So we'll end it here with the look at the radar. and what is going to be happening across the area. But thank you all for tuning in. And if anything changes, we'll have more updates. Like Jake said, make sure you tune in here in about an hour and a half on Fox 56 for the latest information. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your night.
See you guys. See you at 10.